The man police say
You could do these two sides.
How did we slip so far? That was my first thought. What's wrong was my second thought.
In
the bus system.
New routes
But
are
now
coming to
I
the
was
common
told
transit system, and nearly
they
every
have
route
a
will be
budget,
affected.
which I
How the
understand.
change could
They have
affect
too many
you.
buses on
All
the
that
road.
more next.
Okay, I understand that too.
From the University of South Carolina, your news, your sports, your weather. Carolina News begins now.
Hello and welcome to Carolina News. I'm Sierra Artemis.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Morgan Cox. We're following breaking news this afternoon. The man police say is responsible for killing 4 people in Nashville Waffle House is now in custody. More than 80 officers were searching for Travis Ranking. Authorities say Ranking walked into a Waffle House semi-naked with an assault-styled rifle and opened fire. Today, one man is being labeled as a hero. James Shaw reportedly grappled with the suspect and was able to unharm him on the scene.
Was to react because I didn't see any other way of me, living. And that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to live.
Police are still investigating the incident. We'll keep you updated as details arise.
The search is on for the car driver that seriously injured a man in a hit and run. Police say the car you see now struck a 37-year-old man on the 2300 block of Two Notch Road. That man is now hospitalized and is suffering from his injuries. If you have any information on the incident, call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC. Sumter police seized $60,000 worth of heroin in a major drug bust over the weekend. Police arrested 3 men after months of investigations. The officers searched 7 homes on the East Newberry Avenue of Ashby Road, finding heroin, ecstasy tablets, guns, and $5,000. The investigation is ongoing. Police ask anyone with information to call the Sumter Police Department at 803-436-2700.
It's been a rainy day today, and it's not expected to stop.
That's right. Our Trevor Beck is out in the Kennedy Greenhouse studio to tell us more about the weather. Trevor?
Yeah, that's right, Sierra. It is really raining outside, and it's being a real Monday downer, especially since this rain actually comes from last night and is carried on over into today. The weather is about 64 degrees right now, so not too cold, and the rain, they say, is going to be up to over 3 inches today as well. And it's just overall going to be staying for the rest of the day and really kind of gloomy all over, unfortunately. But hopefully it'll be going away tomorrow. I'll be able to tell you more in my 5-day forecast coming up in the break. Back to you guys at the news desk.
Thanks, Trevor. For the past few months, many people have been pushing for a change in culture within 5 Points concerning nightlife. Our Jada Samuels is live in the newsroom with more. Jada?
Points area for local bars and restaurants to make some adjustments in order to be in compliance with several regulations. I spoke to neighborhood president, University Hill resident, and attorney Tom Gottschall. He expressed his concerns and his neighbors' concerns.
Students have and other customers, patrons, whatever, as they leave these bars, the overflow of intoxicated behavior moves through our neighborhoods. So people on all sides of 5 Points are disturbed.
The 5 Points neighborhood residents are opposing a permanent liquor license for Rooftop Bar because of instances like this.
Bars, all at one point, it draws an outside element, and that element preys upon people who are intoxicated because they're easy marks.
Bar is currently operating under a 1-year temporary license, which is the same license that the Roost operated under until the neighbors successfully blocked the renewal.
It was owned by the same people that owned the Roost, which was then renamed and somewhat reconfigured as the Roost. It used to be the Poorhouse.
The Poorhouse was known for its violations and incidents with police.
The problem is that there are so many bars.
A hearing for the Rooftop Bar will be held on May 14th to determine the future of its liquor licenses. Gottsel says that many of the other 5 Points bars have licenses that are up for renewal in August. He hopes that this time, city officials ensure that each restaurant and bar are in compliance with the regulations. Back to you in the studio.
The nation's report card is in, and South Carolina schools rank among the nation's worst. Kaylin Hagwood has more on the national assessment and what the state is doing to improve our scores.
SC test scores dropped in a national assessment known as the nation's report card. The state fell on every category, pushing already low national rankings even lower.
I was expecting maybe a slight dip in 4th grade. I wasn't expecting to kind of move off the cliff.
In 4th grade, students dropped in reading and math. 8th graders lagged behind the national average, and both grades scored significantly less than over 30 other states. In a state that recently spent $500,000 to launch an ad campaign promoting SC schools,
wow, that is pretty good.
Officials are now wondering,
what can we do differently? Because what we're doing now is not working, to be perfectly honest.
Scranton Elementary is among the 36 school districts that make up the state's corridor of shame. It's an area along I-95 that's known for schools with minimal funding. Because property values in towns like Scranton are low, less money is available for school resources.
They can't hit where they live, but they don't get the same things other kids do.
The state also faces a teacher shortage, but Prosser says Scranton is not affected. The school is STEM accredited and a 2-time finalist of the Palmetto's Finest Award, which measures the impact a school makes on its students.
Students here are busy learning about robotics, arts, and sciences, but with the upcoming tests, classes aren't the only thing that's on their minds today.
I'm nervous for it because I'm nervous that I'll get a bad grade, and I might not go to 5th grade.
Students statewide are preparing for the SC College and Career Ready Assessment. Despite consistent growth, students here still tend to score lower. In response, the state has made a major push to improve early childhood literacy, including additional funding.
Now we've got to really start focusing on the quality of the experiences that students are getting. And we've got to do a better job of recruiting and retaining high-quality teachers.
Kaylin Hagwood, Carolina News.
You can find more information on South Carolina's math and reading assessment at nationsreportcard.gov. Mike Pompeo will go before a Senate committee to see if he'll be the next Secretary of State. President Donald Trump chose Pompeo as his pick back in March. He will replace Rex Tillerson, who left the position. Pompeo previously served as the director of the CIA. Members of the Senate are reluctant on approving Pompeo. Senator Angus King says he doesn't know if he can help the president with decision-making.
I'm just not sure he's the guy who will be a moderating influence on a president who seems to make important decisions.
Pompeo also came under fire recently after a secretary meeting with Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The entire Senate will still have to vote on his confirmation.
Well, thousands headed to Earlwood Park this weekend to take part in the 6th annual SC Cornbread Festival.
People got to taste varieties of cornbread and also learn a little history. Alyssa Butterson has the story.
Food, family, fun, and of course, cornbread at the South Carolina Cornbread Festival.
Me and my wife love cornbread, so why not come celebrate it with the rest of Columbia?
Flavors ranging from strawberry, sweet, spicy, all the way to regular. But why does cornbread stand out in a state like South Carolina?
Years ago, they found evidence that corn was growing at the present site we know today as Allendale and along the Savannah River since 33 to 35 BC.
Sonia says cornbread also brings people together, which is why she made so much.
We have the hamburger, we have the onion cornbread, we have the Native American cornbread, and we also have the muffins, which were made with strawberry yogurt and cream.
Her cornbread was a hit. She even shared some of her cooking secrets.
I love to fix the cornbread the day prior to an event or the day prior to me serving it because the flavor has gone through.
But the big hit that Sonia served was her
dressing, which tastes just like your grandma's dressing. Every Thanksgiving, Christmas, holidays, it's the bomb.
So even if you didn't get a chance to taste Miss Sonia's cornbread, you can look forward to her dressing next year at the 7th annual South Carolina Cornbread Festival.
Real good.
Carolina News, Alyssa Butterson.
Oh, wow, that's great. I love cornbread. I like the sweet kind. What about you, Morgan?
Me too. It's definitely got to be sweet with a little bit of corn in it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Coming up next on Carolina News, major route changes are coming to the Comet Transit system and they could affect your ride. Find out more after the break.
I didn't eat it.
Welcome back to Carolina News. The Comet Transit system has confirmed new routes coming in May. Officials say the changes will affect nearly every route and will permanently remove certain stops. Route 34 and 34B will be eliminated. Route 11 will end earlier and a new express service from downtown to Park Ridge Hospital will be added. Officials spoke about the changes at a meeting to share the news with the community.
So what we're trying to do is modify routes to encourage people to be able to ride that weren't riding before because our hours did not meet their needs.
You can find a full list of the changes for the routes on the Comet's website at catchthecomet.org.
A Columbia family is now reaching out after help. A Columbia family is now reaching out for help after their restaurant was burned and their food truck was stolen. The Pa Boys restaurant on Broad River Road suffered an accidental fire, causing them to make their living off of their food truck. That food truck owner, Kenesha Coleman, says 2 men in a white truck came to the restaurant and stole their food truck. Coleman says the truck has two distinct dents in the bottom, dents in the bottom of the nose and bent lip on the front side. She says that won't be able to cook anything or make profit until the business reopens. An organization concert was held to raise money for police vests for the Lexington County Police Department. Invest USA held a concert Sunday to make sure every officer is equipped with an active shooter vest. With the recent mass shootings, Invest USA founder says the majority of the officers are not protected against a rifle assault. All proceeds went back to Lexington County officers.
Gamecock Baseball's 2017 and 2018 record is full of ups and downs.
Yes, our Will Dotson has more on what that can mean for the rest of the season.
And in our wildest dreams, no one thought the Gamecocks would bounce back from a poor performance the last 3 ball games.
That's right, Gamecock baseball is looking pretty good after sweeping top 20 LSU over the weekend, but they haven't exactly had a solid past. With an overall record of 23 wins and 17 losses, Coach Kingston and his team are trying to keep their heads above water and make it to the SEC Championship. So what does this mean for the team's future? Radio host Tommy Moody hosts the halftime show on 107.5 The Game and happens to be a former Gamecock baseball player himself. Moody believes they can hold on to their chances of going to the SEC and NCAA championships if they ride their current momentum.
Several losses in midweek games has hurt the Gamecocks' chances. There's no secret about that. But if they continue to play like they did, they're in the conversation again. But you can't have any more midweek bumps in the road like they've had consistently throughout the season.
Coach Mark Kingston agrees.
We're in the hunt, and that's all you can ask for at this point. With our season's been very uneven, but to be where we are with a chance to get within striking distance of the NCAA tournament, that's what we're going to continue to focus on trying to make happen.
The team heads to Greenville tomorrow to play Furman at Fluor Field, and then they will play a 3-game series against Vanderbilt. If they hold on to the wins in those matchups, both Kingston and Moody think they will still be in contention for the postseason tournaments. For Carolina News, I'm Will Dotson.
Despite their recent winnings against ranked opponents, the Gamecocks remain unranked. The SEC Championship will be played at Hoover Metropolitan Stadium in Hoover, Alabama, May 22nd to May 27th. Bailey will have more on Gamecock baseball later in sports. This rain has been nasty today.
Talk about cats and dogs. Well, hopefully everything will clear up soon. Our Trevor Beck is out in the Kennedy Greenhouse studio with more for our weather update. Trevor?
Well, thanks, Sarah. Sadly, this rain will not be going away today. It is here to stay, but not for the entire week, thankfully. I'll be able to tell you when it's headed out of this week here on the weather forecast right after the break.
My little girl loves to play outdoors. It's just too hard to keep her inside. I really don't have enough time to play with her, and she cries if I don't let her out. She does bring home some disgusting things. I don't know what she gets up to while she's gone, but she always comes back.
You wouldn't treat your child this way. Why is it okay for your cat? Please, be responsible. Keep your cat indoors.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Looking for these? You drive Buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Carolina News. Let's check out your weather for today. It's 65 degrees here in Columbia, but it really doesn't feel like it, or you can't tell because of all of this rain that we're having. Humidity's at 29% and winds at 9 miles per hour. You'll be able to unfortunately feel some of those gusts, have that rain kind of hit you right in the face from a sideways angle. Let's check out what's going on with the rest of the state currently. Currently, right now, the entire state is feeling in the 60s, especially up in Rock Hill and Greenville. They're really feeling it with kind of the lowest temperatures of the day, and as well as the entire Midlands area, 64s and 65 all around, but 68 here in Hilton Head, so that's pretty good for them. Let's check out tonight's lows. Excuse me. 60s again throughout the entire state, again. But yeah, it's definitely only going to be varying about like 5-7 degrees for the entire state, actually. So the whole temperature is going to stay the same, and as well, it's going to be raining the entire time as well, unfortunately. It's going to carry on late into the day. But let's check out tomorrow, hopefully. So tomorrow is actually going to have, unfortunately, some mild thunderstorms in the morning as well. But however, the highs for the rest of the day are going to be really solid. 78 here in Columbia, 74 in Aiken, 77 in Orangeburg. The entire Midlands is really going to get the best of it tomorrow. So that's good for us here in Columbia. Let's check out the national weather map, however, though. And you can see where all of this rain is coming from. This entire rain came from the east, from Alabama. That's where it originally started out. And it's kind of pushing its way up to the northeast as well. And like I said, it's going to stay for the next morning, unfortunately, and carry on throughout tonight as well. But don't worry, tomorrow afternoon it's going to be nice and sunny. Let's check out your 5-day weather forecast. For the rest of the week, like I said, partly cloudy everywhere. You're going to have our nice 78 degrees pretty much Tuesday and Thursday, so nice highs for then. Morning storms here tomorrow morning, so it's going to be a little isolated, a little bit scattered, but don't worry, it's not going to last until probably about 12 in the afternoon or so. So that'll be good, but definitely right when we start getting into your Friday weather forecast, it's thankfully going to start peaking up really nice, make a great weekend. That's all I have for you for weather. Back to you to the news desk.
Well, Trevor, I am glad things are going to be clearing up later in the week.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Trevor. When we come back, our Bailey Blanchard will have more on how USC's baseball team is making a comeback. Stay with us.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be blood.
Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So. I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hi, welcome back to Carolina News. I'm Bailey Blanchard, and we're going to get started with two teams that won on the diamond this weekend, baseball and softball. Let's look at baseball first. The baseball team completed a 3-game sweep against number 19 LSU yesterday at Founders Park. LSU was on the board first at the top of the 3rd inning, and Hal Hughes walked to lead off that inning. The Tigers came back with 3 more runs at the top of the 5th, but then Carolina figured it out at the bottom of the 6th. The Gamecocks rallied from being down 6-0, excuse me, and scored 8 runs in the last 3 innings of the game. Let's see what Coach Mark Kingston had to say about the game once the team won 8-6.
Well, your Friday night guy sets the tone, and it doesn't matter if it's an established guy or a freshman making his way. Logan set the tone. He was really good on Friday night. Offense followed suit, and it set the weekend up the way you want it to. You know, barring any foreseen injuries or what have you, I don't see that changing.
Now the number 12 Gamecocks softball team also came out on top over the weekend. They beat Missouri 6-1 here in Columbia at Beckham Field to earn the series sweep. The team had quick looks as they worked as a team during these games, getting in a lot of double plays. They had 7 double plays throughout the 3 games this weekend with their wins from yesterday. Their record is now 37-7 with their SEC record being 11-7. The Gamecocks have won all their home series against Tennessee, Arkansas, and Missouri up to this point. Head coach Beverly Smith moved to a 264-189 record and is USC's 2nd winningest coach in school history. The beach volleyball team played in the Coastal Collegiate Sports Association tournament semifinals this weekend. The 9th-ranked Gamecocks dropped a 4-1 decision to number 8 LSU, closing out their record at 24-7. Allie Denny and Shannon Williams got the team's points in the duel, finishing 21-17 in one game and 21-18 in the other. The team is now hoping to receive a bid to the NCAA tournament. Yesterday at Greystone Country Club in Birmingham, Alabama, the women's golf team played in the SEC tournament finals against Arkansas. They shot a par 72 and 6,253 yards.
Oh, I mean, we're peaking at the right time.
Between last Wednesday through Sunday. They fell 3-2 despite how far they've come, but it's not over yet. Next, they play in the NCAA regionals set for May 7th through the 9th. Head coach Kaylin Anderson is proud of her team and thinks they are ready for regionals.
Oh, I mean, we're peaking at the right time, and You know, I couldn't be happier for this group. Just basically won the stroke play side of it and went all the way to the finals and took Arkansas, you know, to the very last hole down to the end. And like I said, it could have gone either way. And this is a big confidence boost. And, you know, we just have to get through finals and take this momentum and move into regionals and hopefully nationals and a great experience.
Well, thank you, Bailey. When we come back, the royal family is bringing home a new baby. More on that coming up after the break.
Welcome back to Carolina News. The Duchess of Cambridge and Prince William welcomed a baby boy today. It's the third child for Kate and Prince William and the fifth in line for the throne. Reports say the baby prince was born at 11:01, weighing 8 pounds and 7 ounces. The palace says both mother and child are doing well.
Wow, it's exciting. Their third child is getting just as much attention as the first two.
I know, it's very exciting. I actually got to see pictures today at lunch of the baby boy, and he is precious.
Awesome. My kids will never get that much attention. Let's take it back out to Trevor in our Kennedy Greenhouse studio for our final weather update. Trevor?
Thanks, Sierra. Yet they threw me out of the studio and back out in the cold rain, but thankfully this rain is not going to stay. It's going to have some isolated thunderstorms tomorrow, and then it's going to be out of here, and we're going to have a nice 78 degrees outside. It's going to feel great tomorrow and for the rest of the week as well, when we will have no rain at all. That's all I got for your news weather forecast. Back to you guys at the studio.
Oh, well, thanks, Trevor. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for being with us today.
See you tomorrow. Have a great evening.
My little girl loves to play outdoors. It's just